Good, happy Thursday morning, August 5th, 2021. I'm Riley King. Welcome to this Thursday morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. We have a lot of news to get to this Thursday morning, so let's get started right now. First up, identities released of father-son killed in shooting incident in Hinsdale. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When it's time to invest in a new roof, be smart and look at more factors than just the final price. Not all roofs are the same, and not all roofers are the same. Ask the questions. Do they offer warranty?
That's right. Investigators spoke to us here at the Hinsdale Police Department, sharing the news that a 12-year-old boy has died in a shooting incident at a home here in town, along with his father. Both apparently died from gunshot wounds, but the medical examiner will have to make the final determination. The Attorney General's office tells us the shooting incident happened just before 1 p.m. this afternoon at this house on Plain Road. That resulted in the deaths of 47-year-old David Lent and his 12-year-old son, Tyler Gilbert. Beyond that, we don't know what led up to their deaths. Here's exactly what investigators had to say just a short time ago.
We believe this was a shooting incident, and again, we'll get that definitive information tomorrow after the autopsies are completed.
Is there any indication that you can release to the public about who might be responsible for using the firearm?
I can tell you that based on the investigation to date, this appears to be a contained incident. We believe we've identified all the individuals who were involved in this, and that there's no danger to the public stemming from this incident.
And once again, 47-year-old David Lent and his 12-year-old son, Tyler, dead in a shooting incident at a house here in Hinsdale. More information will be released about how they died after the autopsies are conducted. Those are scheduled for tomorrow. We can share with you that investigators tell us it has been a very difficult day for family and for law enforcement here. Live in Hinsdale tonight, Jean Mackin, WMUR News 9.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. River Dave's cabin at center of property dispute burns to the ground hours after a court hearing. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
When it's time to invest in a new roof, be smart and look at more factors than just the final price. Not all.
This is all that's left of the Canterbury camp where David Lidstone, known as River Dave, has lived for 27 years. Off the grid and a mile off the road. By the time firefighters got there, it had burnt to the ground.
So no fire truck could make access to the scene. We used UTVs.
It happened hours after Lidstone again told a judge he would rather stay in jail than obey a court order to stay away from the property, which a judgment says he does not own. The owner, an 86-year-old from Vermont.
And at some point, how far is he supposed to go in order to turn his woodlot into a habitable lot for somebody else who's there trespassing?
Lidstone has been behind bars since July 15th, though he could be released now if he agreed to comply. A judge ruled he will be released in 2 weeks regardless.
And while it's clear that in this case, which is why we're spending so much time on it, in this case, you're a guy who's not really hurting anybody, and you're doing your own thing in the live free or die state. So there's a lot of sympathy to you for that. For that clear, there's a lot of weight on the other side of the balance sheet.
It's lying, cheating, corrupt judges like you that are stepping on little people like me. But I'm gonna, sir, you step on me, I'm gonna bite your ankle.
Lidstone disputes the land ownership, saying he'll pay for a surveyor. The owner agreed, the judge suggesting a mediator.
The way that I see it is I see maybe the Structure's still there in 2 weeks. Mr. Lidstone is released. His incarceration serves no real purpose. You're stuck with the same dispute.
Hours later, the structure is gone. But whether the battle over this land continues is yet to be seen. And the fire comes days after the town select board noted that Lidstone's camp wasn't permitted and had no access for emergency vehicles. As for how the fire started, the fire marshal's office is investigating.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Some businesses bring back masks as COVID-19 cases increase. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
At Beltade's, customers will find everything they need for a building project. The brand names you trust to perform. And with a fleet of over 50 delivery vehicles, we deliver when and where our customers need them. Beltade's Building Products. 9 locations throughout New Hampshire and Massachusetts.
Now, when you walk into Flight Coffee Company, you'll notice staff are back to wearing masks.
We're seeing more customers coming in wearing masks, and so we feel it's important for us to mirror that back to them.
Owners say they want to protect their patrons under 12 who can't be vaccinated and their higher risk customers. They're also making it easy to get a shot while you grab your morning coffee this week.
On Friday, we are bringing the official COVID vaccine van here for a visit, and it's going to be here from 9 until 12.
They're not the only business reevaluating safety measures as the Delta variant continues to take hold of the nation. Over the past 5 weeks in New Hampshire, cases have come roaring back, hitting a recent low in late June of about 19 new cases a day. That average now 124 new cases daily, a 553% increase.
We are open for business. We're trying to do it as smart as we can.
At the Seacoast Repertory Theater, they have been pivoting to meet the demands of COVID, from streaming shows to now 6 to 7 shows in person weekly, with audiences growing week by week. They recently pulled back a mask requirement, but say nothing is set in stone.
We are watching the numbers every day and fully expect that, if the trends continue the way they are, that we will be rolling back our mask mandates. We are ready to do it at a moment's notice.
The governor today saying they're seeing a slight increase in vaccinations.
We don't exactly know why we're seeing it, but it's a good thing, right? Every person that gets vaccinated is another step closer to getting out of the COVID issue.
Cerise LeClaire, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Another Granite Stater dies of COVID-19 as community transmission increases. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Come see Darla and Hildy at Clark's Bears in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Visit clarksbears.com to reserve your tickets today.
Now to the pandemic in New Hampshire. Community transmission of COVID-19 is growing tonight.
Rockingham County and the city of Nashua were just moved up to the substantial level, joining Belknap County. And Sullivan County is now seeing moderate transmission, along with the state's 7 other counties and the city of Manchester.
There are 138 new cases of COVID-19 to report tonight. Another Granite Stater has passed away from the virus. Current hospitalizations have gone down slightly to 34, but active cases are again going up, now at 893.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Rochester Manor celebrates 0 COVID-19 cases since the start of the pandemic. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Come see Darla and Hildy at Clark's Bears in Lincoln, New Hampshire. Visit clarksbears.com to reserve your tickets today.
A COVID-style celebration to mark a milestone for Rochester Manor. The skilled nursing facility managed to keep patients and staff safe and healthy with 0 COVID cases throughout the entire pandemic.
We've come this far, and we hope to continue to be successful in this
world we're living in right now.
The afternoon car parade to celebrate this success and keep everyone motivated to continue working hard. Executive Program Director Teal Howe says by following all state and federal guidelines, they managed to keep COVID out of their facility, calling the hard work the result of true teamwork.
Our staff, our families, our residents, our patients, our providers, we all just worked together. It was definitely something that we did together, and we couldn't have done it without everybody's participation.
And residents and staff certainly feeling the love from the community as car by car, cheers, applause, and positive messages flow through the parade route. It's this kind of positivity that Howe says will hopefully keep their COVID-free trend going strong.
And our staff, more than anything, really need the appreciation because they are the true heroes that really came in every single day, got us through this awful pandemic.
I'm Nicole Valley, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Manchester Police Chief apologizes for job listing that touted qualified immunity. Let's take a listen to that video from WMUR News 9.
Step back in time, high above New Hampshire's Lakes region, at Castle in the Clouds. Explore the...
As chief, I take full responsibility for that post.
This is the Post, advertising for entry-level and certified police officers to come work for the state's largest department. The second paragraph lists great schools, proximity to the mountains, and additional unique benefits, including qualified immunity.
This post was not the place that mentioned qualified immunity. I fully recognize that. The post was immediately removed and archived appropriately.
But the chief says applicants ask about it because the job right now comes with a lot of scrutiny.
We're somewhat naive if we don't think that current police officers and potential future police officers are not tuned into the concept of qualified immunity. They fully are. I can tell you that they are.
Qualified immunity was established by the Supreme Court in 1967, effectively protecting state and local officials, including police officers, from personal liability lawsuits, unless they are determined to have violated what the court defines as an individual's clearly established statutory or constitutional rights. But the chief says it is not carte blanche for violent or bad behavior just because one has a badge.
And sometimes qualified immunity is greatly misunderstood and misinterpreted. Provides police officers with protection from civil lawsuits as long as their conduct does not violate clearly established constitutional rights of which a reasonable officer would have known.
New Hampshire legislators have considered abolishing qualified immunity for police officers. The chief says the Chiefs of Police Association stands by qualified immunity for police. The chief here also says if the state of New Hampshire were to abolish it, he's convinced that this state would lose lots of qualified, highly trained police officers. We're live in Manchester this evening. Amy Cavino, WMUR News.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. Mask debate dividing communities as school year gets closer. Let's take a listen to that video from News Nation.
It's summer, so wherever you get out and go, you can count on a Kia to take you there.
A group of parents in Colorado protesting their school district's mask requirements for students who aren't old enough to get the COVID vaccine. The debate growing nationwide as we inch closer to the start of the school year. Districts in Florida and Arizona ordering students and staff to wear masks indoors in spite of statewide regulations and laws that prohibit them from doing so. According to a recent Gallup poll, 57% of parents K through 12 students support masks for unvaccinated students, and 60% support mask mandates for unvaccinated teachers and staff. News Nation's Janelle Ford is live in Atlanta with more on what we're seeing across the country. And Janelle, this continues to be a hot button issue. Yeah, Rutabaga, school districts across the country are scrambling to figure out how to keep students in class in person this school year. And as they try and navigate which COVID-19 measures to put in place, it's revealing a big divide. It's a polarizing debate plaguing school districts across the country, highlighted by hostile moments like this one captured during an Alabama school board meeting.
You are not the parents. I am the parent.
Parents outraged by schools requiring students to wear masks in class. In Colorado, dozens of parents protesting mask mandates for students, marching outside the Jefferson County Health Department today, shouting freedom, not force. The CDC's latest guidance recommends all students, teachers, and staff, regardless of vaccination status, continue to wear masks indoors. But the recommendation has been complicated by lawmakers who oppose the mandates and parents who feel their choice to decide what's best for their children is being taken away. The result, a nation split. On one hand, there are now at least 3 states that have outlawed the required use of masks in schools. On the other, some lawmakers are now enforcing statewide mask mandates in the classroom. Administrators in Georgia's largest school district, which started class today, say they've seen both sides, but ultimately are requiring masks to keep kids in the classroom. Have parents been upset about this mask mandate being put in place?
We do have a number of parents who don't like the mask mandate and are upset by it. On the other hand, we also have a lot of parents who felt very reassured that the school district was doing this. There were a lot of things that went into this decision. Obviously, the CDC's recommendation played a key part in this, the upward trend in numbers here in Gwinnett. But the other fact is that 83,000 of our students are under the age of 12. They're not even eligible to be vaccinated at this point.
And as you heard, these school districts have a lot of pressure on them, especially with COVID-19 cases on the rise. Rutabaga. Janelle Fort, thank you for that live report.
Okay, and there you go on that video and that report. And that does it for this morning edition of the Riley King Newscast, right here on the Riley King Network. Thank you for watching, and have a great day, everyone. See you back here later on today with more news coverage.